everybody, it's Exy here again. This is episode 2 of our hiding spots tutorial series. We had a lot of requests for Coliseum and we happen to know quite a few spots on the map, so let's get right into it. Once again, we're keeping it simple to start off with. Jump up on this rock underneath red base, climb all the way up to the top, and you'll be pretty well hidden. You can do the same thing over on the blue side of the map. I'd recommend you only use these spots if you need to get hidden quickly, and it would probably be best to keep it to one person on each side. This next one near bottom mid is probably not the greatest. Just jump into this little crack in the rocks and you won't be visible from most angles. But I'd be pretty surprised if anyone could get away hiding here for an entire match. Over in red base, we have a fairly simple ground pound boost spot. Have your teammate boost you up onto this invisible barrier, and then move to the very corner of it and you should be safe. This next one starts off with the pretty well-known Frosty Jump. Just jump around the corner and clamber on the wall right there, and then there. Once you get to the top of the rock, simply walk around the corner and follow the invisible barrier all the way to the edge. Once you get there, you should be out of the soft kill and safe. Something fun to note about this spot is that if you do it in Forge mode and then toggle Machinima camera, you'll actually get a pretty funny glitch. We'll show that off at the end of the video. Up next, we've got what is probably the best spot on the map, underneath red base. A lot of people have trouble learning this at first, but once you know the trick, it's quite easy. Start by doing a crouch jump and clambering onto this rock near red elbow. Once you get up, fall down into the hole in front of you and look for this little triangular shaped gap. Try to aim directly for the gap, and as soon as you fall past it, thrust forwards. If you did all of that correctly, you should land underneath the map on this invisible barrier. Over by the blue elbow is another decent solo spot. Jump up onto the railing and throw a grenade directly at your feet. Use it to do a ground pound boost and clamber onto the little ledge directly in front of you. Once you've gotten up there, move as far back into the corner as you can and you should be hidden from most angles. This next one at top mid requires you do a spring jump, stabilize, ground pound, and then thrust into this small gap. Despite being simple enough to get into, this spot gives you cover from a lot of angles and is actually quite good. In Blue Cave, you can do a thrust ramp up this wall and clamber onto an invisible blocker. This only works on the patched version of Coliseum, otherwise the blocker isn't there. And once you get up there, if you stand in the right place, you'll be covered by projectile blockers from almost any angle. Being up here makes you almost unkillable, and it's a lot of fun to do if you just want to mess with the enemy team. Back at top mid, there's another spot on the red side. Start by jumping onto this tiny bit of rock, and then do a late jump around the corner and thrust onto the rock to your left. This spot is very difficult to do correctly, so you'll need a lot of practice in order to pull it off. This next one is definitely one of the hardest spots on the map. We did it with 2 people, but if you have trouble getting it, you could try adding a 3rd. Jump forward, stabilize for a split second, and then ground pound and have your teammate punch you from underneath. To get enough height, you need a flawless ground pound boost. But once you get into the spot, it's well worth it. You're very high up, and it's unlikely you'll be found. You might recognize this final spot from our Team Me Sing video. Since then, we've had the Ghosts of Meridian update, which greatly sped up the rate at which kill barriers check for players. The result is that ground pounding through this barrier is now very rare. It's overwhelmingly likely that you'll get killed during the ground pound. If you do manage to get to the bottom, crouch through the gap and then do a simple jump, stabilize, ground pound, and thrust around the corner. This is one of the best spots on the map, but if you're gonna try it in a real match, you'd better hope you have luck on your side.